World of YouTube Nation out here, and we're in Lancaster in the historical Blood Woods. As you can see, the rock to the entrance. And this place does have trails in it. And the story is on this particular place that a man, and I don't know why they would name it after him, but it's a crazy story about a guy named something Blood. He used to live out here, and he'd kill and hang people. And then you would come out here at night and you'll see bodies hanging from the trees. But I don't believe that happened, due to the fact that if there is any kind of type of image of bodies hanging from these trees, would be due to the Indian nation. And once again, looking up my history on the Indians, I come to find out, of course, all this information now is pouring out. I can't believe what I've been finding. And this set of woods is in Lancaster, Mass. It's not too far from Leominster. And now that I've been mapping out this area, the Nipmucks, the Pawtuckets, I think were the main Indian tribes throughout this land, due to the fact that when the King Philip War broke out, and that's another thing, a part of this history, and I think that really has a lot to do with the Indians in this woods, is this was a main stomping ground. Now, if anybody's ever coming out here and claim that they have found, shadows of dead bodies hanging, that would be the reason why. And I could put money on this, I would put money on this, and I would guarantee that's what that's for. The King Philip War and the Indian tribes, not only that, but the rival Indian tribes back then also. And that's what they used to, well, the English I know used to do when they catch an Indian enemy, would hang them, cut their heads off, and hang them in the trees, like up in the air. That's what happened to King Philip. The story of King Philip is that they chopped him up in little pieces, but they did not do that. They cut his head off, and the Indian that did shoot him got his deformed hand that King Philip shot himself because he was learning how to use a gun. But like I say, I am guaranteed on the money that this set of woods has got to do. Now, whether or not this guy exists or not, which I don't know. I forget his first name, but his last name was Blood. And even if he did kill people and hang them out here, I mean, I've been trying to look up news articles on that, and of course I can't find them unless they're privately kept or whatnot. But all I know is that this set of woods runs through right into Leominster, and right on into, another thing I need to mention, right on into where an Indian tribe lived in Lancaster, and it was on George Hill. Now, what messes people up if you go around trying to look for these woods is, I know that I found out that they said these woods, which does run into George Hill Road in Lancaster, but the entrance is not on George Hill. And I think an article said that a stone near on George Hill Road leads you into the woods and whatever, but it ain't on that road. It's another road. I forgot what it was, but you could take George Hill Road and get here. It's it varies of you take a I mean, I forget the name of that road too, but I mean, if you ever look it up, I will put the name of the road in my description box if anybody wants to come out here. But as you can see, this place fills up like swamp. And there you go. Keyword to Indians, swamp. I mean, if there was an attack, this is where you'll see Indians run through and disappear into the trees. I mean, that's what's made the English very, very paranoid of the Indians. They would do things like disappear. And they're chasing them through the woods. And, things like this, man. When they got into them battles in the King Philip War, and the battles would go on into the middle of the night, 2, 3 a.m. And you could just imagine being an Englishman running out here in the dead of night. You'd be petrified of not only wild animals, but you got the Indians, too, that know these woods by the back of their hands. Because I'll say it all the time in my videos. Indians learned from the wild. In today's video, I'm going to scope this out because when I make some time and I got a lot of places I got to go do to, stuff like this. But I got to come out here at night, too, because I want to see if I can see these visions of, the shadows hanging from the trees. But like I was saying, though, if you go straight, right on through, if you would walk through these set of woods, not only would you reach George Hill, but I can't give out a direct address on that, but George Hill is an actual hill, and the Indian tribes used to live on it. And there's supposedly, I looked on Google Maps, I mean, you can look it up, but if anybody was to look for it and try and get up there, I would respect the people that live there. I want to do a video up there, but I'm going to have to get, some real permission, because there's a house that sets up there, and you need to get permission if you do find it on Google Maps, but it is there. You can search George Hill, and that is where an Indian tribe liberally lived. So, in these woods, and as you can see, the pine trees, and I'm sure they were more fuller back in the day of the 1600s, of course, but as you can see why the Indians lived by this, due to the pine trees and the, of course, the animal living, because animals use these trees, all the pine trees here, to, from the rain and the bad weather. Because, the pine trees hold more stuff out. But I wanted to mention, too, while I'm here, that I showed you the entrance, which is over there. And I came up here, and I stopped one day because I was looking for something else. But I ended up finding this just by, looking for something else. And I couldn't believe it. I finally, going on the directions, I was trying to find it that day, but I also had something else I was looking for. And I was looking for that damn rock, at the edge of the road where you seen where I started the video. And, of course, the people saying it's on George Hill Road. So many times I drove up and down that road. I'm looking for a rock, but it ain't there. I thought they might have, moved it, but here it is. But I know that day when I stopped here, when I found it. And I didn't have time because I just wanted to, check it out and look around real quick to see what else. They had a map on the tree over there. I was wondering what it was. But I had to hurry up and get out of here. But as I was standing there, though, looking at the woods, wouldn't you know, I heard tapping on the trees. Now, I have to look into this, and I don't know if the Indians used to do this, but if they did, I'm going to show you what I heard. A stick like this. And I heard but it was a little louder than that, not muffled. And I heard this fucking tapping. Now I'm about to wonder, because that's a wet piece of wood. I think the dry wood, if it was dry, I think would make a louder tap, of course. but all the wood's wet and damp right now due to the past snow, and as you can see, it's overfilled. But I think when you get see, there's no dry branch that I can get, but I think it's safe to say, and I gotta look this up, but I think when Indians used to hide out here in groups, they used to lay down in tall grass, and they used to, like I say, run through the swamps. Whatever it took to get themselves hidden. And the English, of course, started using their methods. But I'm going to say, I think the Indians used to take sticks and tap them off the tree. And it's like, and when I was standing there that day and I heard this, I mean, it's like, what the fuck? And it was cold that day, mind you. And when it's cold out, you know damn well there's no animals or... Like now I can hear in the distant little birds chirping because it's at least 50 degrees today, 45 degrees. That day I was here, it was like 30 degrees and had a real good wind kicked in. And I doubt the wind was tapping, a branch on a friggin' tree like that. It sounded almost like fucking Morse code type tapping, But I mean, like I said, I gotta look into that. But I'm almost to say that the Indians might have did some tapping on trees to warn other Indians spread out, hiding from the English. And if one was a lookout person, and they'd make it sound like a bird maybe, or a woodpecker tapping or whatever, any type of animal back in them days, I think they might have used that. And, this is how the Indians would work. And I heard that when I came into the set of woods and looked. I mean, I didn't come out like I did now. I'm about, 100, 200 feet off the road over there. So I wanted to come out here. But this is definitely Indian dwelling. And Indians crossed through here. In the war of the King Philip War, I'm for damn sure these woods and that rock that sets at the beginning of this place is like a marker. And that's another thing Indians used, markers. The mountains, if they know they're in the rivers and the brooks. They use these things to follow them, of course, to find their way home or to find their way to different places. And, of course, they made their trails, so... But these woods would probably be the woods I'm sure there is paths that go through this. But I'm sure that they use these paths also for rival tribes and for stuff like hunting for the animals because of the pine trees. And they didn't, move all this stuff or cut it down. And that's the reason why they stayed on hills and lived on hills. Due to the fact that the wild animals, if they, crawl up the hill and they hear them, panting away, or whatnot, or the English or whatever, they would hear people coming, and I'm sure they'd have their little booby traps, because if you're down on flat land, that's just giving yourself, the advantage of getting yourself killed faster. And that's why they did these things back in the day. And of course this was all probably just hunting grounds, like with these pine trees. I can see they go on, and I'm sure there's a lot of them throughout here. And that's what they say in this article I found, due to my dream, the John Fitch Mines. That article claimed that the heavy wooded areas with pine trees is what Indians would use to hunt the animals, because that's where the animals would like to stay, of course. And I gotta keep mentioning this throughout my videos, but the wind's picking up now, and I did want to come out here and see what I could see or try and get, because of what happened the last time. But I haven't heard no tapping yet. And I mean, believe it or not, everybody can just believe it or not, because I'm the type of person, I don't make up fucking stories. I don't lie. I don't make up stories, and I definitely don't make up stuff when I start hearing stuff and seeing stuff like orbs in my videos, or noises in my videos, or The only reason why I didn't break out the camera that day, like I said, because it was windy, and all you would probably hear was the wind blowing through the the microphone here on the phone. So that's why I just left it alone. But I can hear the distant vehicles in here and the trucks on the highway, because the highway is not too far from here, at least about 3 miles. And it's not hard to get to this place. It's right off of Route, what is that, 117. And is your first right, if I can say, if anybody wanted to try and get it here, you'd have to get off Route 117, Leominster, Lancaster, near the Walmart, and you'd drive towards Lancaster, and you would take your first right. Your first right of a road. I forget the name of it, but if you want to check out these woods, it's your first right after the hot dog stand, and there's a little drive-off place, which I think that might be a marker to an entrance to like a walking path to these woods. I have to look into that, but yeah, it would be your first right. And if you go on the weekends or whatever, or during the weekday, during the early afternoon time, you'll see the hot dog truck that's always there in that drive-off, where cars can park and rest or something. And that's where you would see the first right after the hot dog stand. I just can't put that damn fucking name of the street in my head, because it's a word and a name I don't even use all the time and I never even heard of, so... And, go figure, up until, when I found this road in these woods, I've drove by that street a million times and I just didn't remember it. And I never looked at it either. I knew there was a road there, but I just never thought I'd be, needing the name of it. So, like I say, one day, I want to get out here and, do a night video. There's a lot of videos I gotta do at night, and one of them actually is the Vale Hill Cemetery in New Hampshire, and that one claims to have some little creature. It's a myth creature, but it's something to do with the Indians. And before I started all these videos with this, I was looking that up, and this little creature is a little trickster. He likes to trick you and manipulate you. But also, if you go to this and you see that creature and you go to that cemetery, you supposedly will die 2 weeks later. So who knows? If I go and die, I did it for something a cause. Proof. But I hate to leave my kids if that was the case. But the wife and family and things. But I'm on a mission. And I want to find something. I need to find something more than what I've caught. I think I'm safe to say I'm an advocate for the dead, and they keep talking to me and showing me. And like I say, all I'm doing is videoing with a phone, doing it myself. Right now my wife is in the car, but I do these videos alone. I don't like to have people around me because, it's just, oh, you got someone there, you could be making tricks. No, that ain't the trick with me. I don't do that shit. I'm truthful. I speak the truth. I tell the truth. And whatever I see or read, it's real. I'm one of the most down-to-earth guys you can say. When I say something, it's real. But, still listening. Got the wind kicking up. Got the treetops over here. I love that sound. There wasn't such, deadly animals out here. I'd cut myself down a fucking tree, bunch of trees, and make me a log cabin, live in the woods. I have to get weapons, though, in case them damn coyotes or something come after me, But this is another place of interest, another place that's been, said to be haunted. But I think it's more got to do with the Indians than this Blood guy. I mean, he might have been around and he might have did some things, but due to the fact of what I've been looking up on the Indian nation and this war, and there was even more wars after the King Philip War, so there could be even more. I haven't looked into them yet because I'm just doing the King Philip War right now. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to be doing two different things at once, but there's the French War, I guess, that happened after the King Philip War, and I just want to literally, take my time and do what I'm doing now, because then I'd be looking up other stuff, and this stuff, it's just, what I'm doing now is just a lot of stuff. And I'm draining myself doing this stuff, because it's so much shit I'm finding, and so much that's there. And I mean, trying to memorize it in my mind, I'm frying my fucking brain. But it's gonna be worth it in the end, because, like I say, I'm bringing you to the actual spots. I'm bringing people to the places that are just long lost, been, and not accounted for. And I think it should have its moment in time on video, because, like I said, I want to bring you to the reality of it. I want to bring you to it in my videos, not just a commentary little skit put together with information here and there. I want to bring you there. I mean, not only that, I want to find ghosts, I want to find stuff, and I just want to give the respect to the Indians that they deserve, and show people what and how they really lived and what really happened to them. And I say it in all my videos, and I'll end it with this. Just like today, the Indians went through what we went through. They had to give up their rights. They had to give up their language. They had to give up their names. They had to give up their land just to make the English and all the white men happy. And that's what we're doing to these Muslims. Alright? I'm not racist. Never was, never will be. But when these Muslims come in that are really not supposed to be here and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they're making us change our religion of saying God bless you, Merry Christmas, and everything that comes out of the aftermath, that's just sick and disgusting. And it happened 800 years ago with the friggin' Indians, same thing. So we are now back to being the white man Indian, and it's sick. And I just want the Indians to get the respect they deserve, because that's it. This was their land before it was anybody's land. And they deserve to have their time shared. But YouTube, because I'm hearing some stuff. Yeah, due to the wind. So I'm going to end this video now, because it is getting windy and mess up the volume and stuff. But ending anyways. Till the next video, YouTube Nation. Many more to come. Just hopefully I don't fry my brain and die from no brain left. See you all on the back burner. Out.